Welcome to the ultimate TradingView guide. Now, TradingView are actually having their biggest ever Black Friday sale, which is actually live right now, but I want to tell you guys more about it, so let's jump into the charts. So if you wanted to change your chart settings, you just go up on the top right here, chart properties on the scroll wheel, and just going from the first tab, symbol. This is basically the design of your chart. We will go into the design later on, but this is body fill, borders, wicks, last price line. If you wanted to have a line where price is at, I keep all of these off, and you would want to change your time zone. So for me, that would be London. If you're trading within the TradingView app, then you can put your bid and ask lines on into the status line. Here you have the symbol, and what that changes is the info up here. Open market status if you want that on or off. So right now it says that it is closed. Open, high, low, close values. So this is very useful because wherever you hover your crosshair, for example, with this large bullish candle, you can see that the open was 18539. And wherever you hover your crosshair, that is what the values are going to show up on the top left screen. Buy, sell buttons, indicator titles. Now for the scales, that basically changes these scales at the bottom and on the right. So for example, if I put on currency, you can see that this goes into US dollars. If I turn these on, all of these sort of values add on the right axis. Now on appearances, if you want to pause the video, you can actually have a look at how I have my design chart layout. For trading, if you trade within TradingView, again, you have to turn these on, make sure they're on. You can show on executions, play sound, etc, etc. For events, if you wanted to show any news events that are coming up, then you can add that on, and you can see that we have Euro news coming up on the 23rd, which is tomorrow. For me personally, I keep them off. It just keeps the chart clean. Another area to look at is the calendar on the right here. You can also see upcoming news that is coming. If you wanted to create a template of how you've saved everything on the chart settings, then all you have to do is on the bottom left, you just click on Save As. If you wanted to change the design of your charts, you can firstly change the design of how you wanted to have your crosshair. So for example, if you wanted to have an arrow or a dot, for me, I just have a crosshair. It allows you to see values at the bottom and on the right. Now, going back to the settings, here, this is how I have my settings. So on the left here, this is bullish candles. I have mine on this one, 100%. This one is the one over here. And then borders and wicks are all like this. So again, I like it quite monochrome and simple. It's now become more of a psychological thing for me. So this is just how I like to see my charts. My background is solid. And again, this is white. As you can see, I have my vertical lines white as well. Now let's say you wanted a darker chart. What you would do is you just make your grid lines 0% opacity. So then you get a nice clean looking chart like this. And of course you'd have to change up your scales here. I know some people like to have the watermark of the back over here. If you wanted that, then you could do that. Scale lines, again, you can change them to whatever you want really. And I haven't really played with this here, kind of just kept it normal. If you wanted to change from white to dark or dark to white, what I'm talking about here is the sort of the sides here. You can see the user interfaces sort of have this white color scheme. All you have to do is have your pointer on the chart, right click, and you can click on color theme. So here you can have light, or I can have, dark. And that will change it to the darker interface, and then you can go ahead and make any edits here. So you can make your grid lines completely opaque. And I actually used to have this sort of setup before with the red candles and then the dark color scheme. But in my opinion, I still prefer mono, which is my other color scheme. And I just changed my color scheme to light. Add template mono. So that's how useful it is to have these templates, because if anything, you accidentally change anything, you can just go back to it. So again, you can either access settings from here or right click, click on settings, and then don't forget to make use of templates. The other part of the design is if you wanted to change the actual chart itself and the candles and whatnot. If you just go up here, you can either change it to line or into your regular candles. So basically you can just change it to how you like, hollow candles and whatnot. Now changing time frames, that would come up on the top left here. Again, you can add and change up what you want on your favorites list. So these are what I have on my favorite list, and you can see that they come up easily for me to access. So all you have to do is just click on them and you'll change from the 1 hour to the daily, etc, etc. Now, another way is to literally type in, for example, 1 hour, you can do 1H and then enter on your keyboard. Or for example, if you do 60, it's exactly the same. So if I wanted 4 hour, I can go 4H, or 240, which is the same. For 1 day, I can just do 1D. If I wanted to do 2 days, 2D, 2 hours, 2H. If I wanted minutes, I can do 1. But if I wanted months, I'd do 5M, which is 5 months. So those are some quick shortcuts. Now, there are a couple buttons down here, and I always have toggle auto scale on. So if I take this off and I show you, so if I go into, I don't know, the 5 minute, you'll see how the line's sort of messed up here. The chart's really messed up and really compressed. If I just click on this, it will adjust it, and it just makes life a lot easier. If I'm going from different time frames, it will auto adjust. Now I wanted to talk about chart layouts here. So as you can see, mine, I have mono and backtesting, so I have 2 main chart layouts. What I recommend is you have one for your analysis, and then you can have one for your ASR, and then one for backtesting. Now, if you wanted to create multiple charts and sync the charts up, for example, here I have 2 charts. On the left, we have Aussie dollar. On the right, we have Euro dollar. Then all you have to do is from up here, you can click select layout, and you can go from 1 layout to 2 charts. And here, if you just click on it, you'll see that there's a blue highlight around it, and you can change, for example, if I wanted Euro Yen here, and I can change it to the 15 minute. So here I'm looking on the left, Aussie dollar 1 hour, on the right, Euro Yen 15 minute. You'll have options at the bottom of it where you can sync all charts to the symbol, the crosshair, the times, drawings, and etc. So I'm on the 15 minute here, the 1 hour here, and I was to draw, it syncs on both charts. So this is super useful. Let's say if you're back testing, you have the 1 hour on one side and then you have the 15 minute on the other. And let's say I put in a long position here, they will show on both charts. It keeps it real clean. For the Pro plan, you have up to 2 screens, and for the Pro Plus plan, you have up to 4 screens. And then for the Premium, you have up to 8 screens. Now we're going to go through all the drawing tools on the left hand side here. Starting off with the Trendline tools, you can have a play and see what you use the most, but I personally use trend lines, horizontal ray, and the arrow. Essentially, trend line, again, these are just your average trend lines, and you can change the thickness. You can change if you want it dashed. You can have an arrow on the left hand side and the right hand side, etc, etc. If you double click it, you can add text if you wanted to. So for example, you can put trend line, and then you can change the alignments here. Visibility, you can have it show on monthly, weekly, dailies, hourly, minutes, etc, etc. Then you can also save it as a drawing template. So I can show you another example. Again, I favorite the ones that I use the most, horizontal ray. So let's say I'm looking on the daily and I've got horizontal ray, for example, and I put it here and I wanted to mark out a daily high. Double click, I can put in daily high. Again, I can have it at the top or the middle, on the left, etc, etc. And then I can save it as a template and click on save as daily high. So then next time, if I wanted to do, I don't know, another daily high, I can just click here, click on daily high, and it has it there for me. Now looking into the Gantt and Fibonacci tools, I personally don't use any of this. Now for the geometric shapes, I use the brush, rectangle, and the polyline. Now the brush, this is what I like to use to forecast. You guys know that I use this line a lot. A lot of other traders use this too. Now for the annotation tools, I use text and call out the most. And essentially, if I'm sort of in a trade, for example, I can put in if it was a win or loss. So for example, I don't know, 1 + 5%. And then I would obviously have my position in there. I personally don't use any of these pattern tools. Now for the prediction and measurement tool, I have the long, short and bars pattern on favorite. And for example, if I just go on the short one, click on this. So again, you can customize this how you want. So profit background color if you want it like this, or you can have it green if you want. And then for the stop background color, I used to have it red, but again, psychologically, I just preferred it to be a lot more monotone. And then I made my border color yellow. I made this pink. I like how it pops on this axis, so hence why I chose yellow. If I double click on this, again, you can change your settings for this, and you can save them as different templates. For example, if you wanted your like a 10 pip stop loss, then you can change it and you can save it as a 10. So for me, I already have predefined stop losses. So here, this is 10 pip stop loss, 12 pip stop loss, 15 pip stop loss, and 25 pip stop loss. I also have one called missed, where if I have a missed opportunity or a missed trade, I also put that in there, and I've made the colors gray. So for example, if I had a missed trade and then I grabbed my trend line, say like my entry was, I don't know, here, I also have a missed trend line here where my level would have been, and then my actual entry. So that's how I can sort of utilize it. And then another one is the bars pattern. So if you just drag it across from point A to another point, you can sort of forecast how price could be and how price could behave to your target. Here on the left, you've got a measuring tool. So that's measuring from one point to another. Again, you can see that this is 4 days, around 209 bars on the 15 minute. And you can see if you hover over, you can also just click on shift, click on the chart, and you can pretty much measure from, you know, this point to this point. Now I wanted to show you the magnet tool here. So for example, if you have a weak magnet and you are drawing, so here it says magnet mode is on, drawing anchors will snap to the closest open, high, low, close values of nearby bars. And it's very useful for those using trend lines. You can see that my trend line is snapping to the candles opens or highs and lows closes. Now we've gone through all the drawing toolbars and you've already favorited the ones that you've wanted. You can click on here and it will show your favorite drawings toolbar. So if you're clicking on and off, you can toggle it on and you'll see that these are all the things that I'll likely use, and it's just quick and easy to access. You can also rearrange it to how you like it. And if you wanted to get rid of a favorite tool, you can just delete it and it comes off here. Now moving on to the right hand side, I actually wanted to start at the bottom, and this is the object tree, which is actually one of my favorite parts or new additions in TradingView. It's like putting anything you put on the charts, drawings, buy or sell positions, into a folder. Here you can see I've got all my trades from November, October, September, etc, etc. Here's some random analysis. For example, I'm doing my morning forecast and I'm doing this. Then I can click on this and put that into, I don't know, AM forecast. Then I can lock it, meaning, you know, I click on it, I won't remove it or won't delete it, and then I can hide it. But I can come back to it at the end of the day or the next morning and change it up and update it. I can even put in a sell position and say I'm going to take this with a 15 pip stop, etc, etc. Then I can add in some text as well to see what I'm looking at. Morning forecast, etc, etc. And then I can just go into my object tree, either down here or right click, and I can also find my object tree here. I can grab these two, put them into my AM forecast, lock it and hide it, and then let's say at the end of the day I can go and compare my forecast. And I just really love using the object tree again, because it's like you're able to keep your charts clean and tidy without losing any of your old analysis and whatnot. So here you can see literally all my trades, all my forecasting before it, and it just keeps it really clean. Now for those who like to use indicators, you can just go up here into the indicators section, and you can see that I actually use one indicator, which is the inside bar V2 by this person. And what that does is it basically highlights any inside bars. You can look up any EMAs or let's say Bollinger Bands or RSI, MACD. You can sort of see what your chart will look like with these indicators if you want to use them on. So if you wanted to use indicators, it's just up here, or you can just use / again, that's another shortcut. Now, if you were to trade from TradingView, then you would have your trading panel down here. And then you can just go ahead and click your broker. Now, I personally don't trade from TradingView. Obviously, you would have to put these all on and open up your labels and have your buy sell buttons here. So if you click on buy, again, I don't have a broker linked on my TradingView account, but yeah, this is what you'd use. So again, I can't really comment much on TradingView, but all I can say is that I don't really actually recommend it. And that just comes from more of a psychological standpoint. Another one of my favorite things about TradingView is that you can set alerts. So there's two ways that you can either do it. You can either have it where your crosshair is, and then you see this button on the side, you can click on that plus button and it adds an alert. So you can either do that. If you double click it, you can also edit your alert. So you can have it when it's crossing up, crossing down, exiting, moving, etc, etc. You can have it every time or only once. You can have an expiration date. For me, I have a pop-up and a notification on the app. And you can add an alert name such as, I don't know, breaking major low. Another way that you can do it is if you have a trend line, let's say, for those who are trading sort of patterns, and let's say you wanted to be alerted when price broke out, you can click on the trend line, click on this button, add alert, and when it's crossing. So you can create that and it will add a little alert symbol here, and then it will show up on your alerts. Now, I want to say that the Pro has up to 10 alerts, the Pro Plus has 30, and then the Premium has, I think, up to 100 alerts. Now we are up to the top right-hand side where we have watch list and details. If you just toggle this button here, you can have the option to create a new list. You can see my list. I have all pairs, backtesting, and main. Let's just make an example list, and you can basically click on this button to add any symbol you want. So for example, if you wanted euro dollar, you can add in euro dollar, pound yen, I don't know, pound dollar. And yeah, you can basically have all your different lists here. Import, export lists, make copies. So if we just go back to my main watch list, these are the trades that I kind of look at mainly during the week. You can see that I have a blue flag system because these are my three main pairs. Let's say Aussie dollars approaching a key value area. I tend to put that into orange. If I'm in a trade, I'm green. So that's just how I like to keep things nice and clean. If you click on the three little dots over here, you can change all the values that you kind of want to look at. For me, literally, I don't look at anything apart from really change percentage. So for my backtesting, these are pairs that I've backtested. So you can also categorize them by a red list, a green list, a blue list. Now I want to show you guys the bar replay tool, which is up here, and this is only going to be available for those who are on a paid subscription. This is honestly one of the best and most useful features on TradingView because it allows you to go back in price and to almost be able to backtest it and trade it as if it were the live markets. For example, if you were backtesting 2019, then you can bring price all the way back and then basically be able to trade it live. I will be doing another video on how I backtest and some more insights, live backtesting, etc, etc. But that's just one of the key features that TradingView can offer. For TradingView shortcuts, literally you can go on Google and go on this link and you're able to check out all the shortcuts that they have. They do regularly update their shortcuts. Now I know that was a very comprehensive view, but I really wanted to show you guys what TradingView actually offer and how I use it, and yeah, just the ins and the outs, because again, I never really want to share something that I've never used or that I don't believe in. And I think if you are, whether you're starting out or you've been a trader for a while, wherever you are in your trading journey, you're going to need a place where you're going to analyze the charts. where you're going to be able to forecast or even backtest. And for someone who's been using TradingView for well over 2 years now, I know that you're never going to get TradingView discounted at the rate it's at during Black Friday. It's up to 60% off, plus you get, I think, a month extra. So usually it'll run for 12 months. This time they're running it for 13 months. Again, I do have a link in the description, and it's really up to you if you want to use it, but I do highly, highly appreciate if you do. It helps the channel out and it helps a lot of other people out, which is something I want to go into more in 2021. We recently had the typhoons in the Philippines. Just got goosebumps just saying that. But just know that you guys are helping out a lot more than you think. I'll share more in 2021. But yeah, again guys, thank you for watching. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good week, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.